Forgotten relic. In the icy depths of a Norwegian fjord museum, a centuries-old Norse artifact, an ancient, original version of Loki's mask, lies sealed in a temperature-controlled vault. During a violent electrical storm, the artifact begins to glow. The glass case cracks. A cloaked figure, Magnus, breaks in and steals it, whispering a chant in Old Norse. Unseen by guards, he vanishes into the night as security cameras glitch and flicker with static. Stanley's new life. Stanley Ipkiss, now in his late 40s, lives in a quiet town outside New York, working as a children's book illustrator. He avoids the media and has completely isolated himself. Despite being free of the mask for years, he's plagued by dreams and intrusive memories of his time as the mask. His therapist believes Stanley suffers from unresolved trauma. His drawings often reflect chaotic, cartoon-like characters, as if something inside him wants to resurface. The mysterious invitation. Stanley receives a letter in the mail with an invite to an art exhibit in Oslo, Norway. Included is a sketch of the mask, but not the one he knew. It's more ornate, Norse in style. There's no return address, only a rune burned into the paper. Against his better judgment, and with growing curiosity, Stanley books a flight. Something is calling to him. Enter the trickster, Magnus, a disgraced mythologist and internet conspiracy theorist, dons the ancient mask he stole. He transforms into a terrifying and flamboyant trickster god persona, embodying not just mischief, but malevolence. He begins streaming his actions online, pulling large-scale pranks and unleashing reality-warping chaos across Europe. His catchphrase, "Chaos is the only truth." The world becomes obsessed with the mystery behind this being. Global mayhem. The media labels Magnus as Trickster Prime. In London, he paints Big Ben into a candy cane. In Rome, the Colosseum turns into a rubbery bounce house. Planes fly backward. Cats start speaking in rhyme. Global physics is unraveling. World leaders panic as normal laws no longer apply. Loki, through Magnus, declares that masks were only the beginning. Loki speaks. Magnus begins speaking directly in Loki's voice. It becomes clear the mask isn't just an artifact. It's a vessel for the actual Norse god. Loki intends to awaken more enchanted objects to spread chaos and return the world to the age of myths. His ultimate goal: mask all of humanity and bend Earth into his playground. The call to Stanley. Back in Norway, Stanley is approached by a secret group called the Guardians of Balance, an ancient order of spiritual shamans and historians sworn to monitor mythological artifacts. They tell him that his unique resistance to the mask's corruption makes him essential. Loki's mask is far stronger than what Stanley once wore, and only he has a chance to stop it. Father and son. Stanley seeks out Tim Avery, now 18 and estranged from his parents. Tim has grown up knowing he's part mask. He has suppressed his abilities, but can still see energy patterns from magical items. Initially bitter, Tim is eventually convinced by Stanley to help stop Loki. Tim agrees on one condition: that they destroy the mask forever afterward. Rebirth of the Green Mask. The Guardians give Stanley back the Green Mask, recovered from a vault in Edge City. It's been magically altered for safety. Stanley hesitates, fearing the madness it might bring back. But with the world at stake, he dons it. The transformation is smoother now. Stanley becomes the mask, still cartoonish, but wiser and in control, with a new design and green mystical armor overlaying the zany persona. Chase in Paris. Loki/Magnus arrives in Paris and turns the Eiffel Tower into a giant spring-powered jack-in-the-box. Stanley and Tim arrive in time to face him. A thrilling battle ensues, full of slapstick gags and chaotic physics. Magnus escapes, but Tim notices something strange. Magnus is starting to merge physically with the mask, losing his human self. Ancient prophecy. The Guardians reveal a prophecy written in runes. Loki created 3 masks: green, chaos; black, corruption; and gold, balance. All 3 must be brought together to stop Loki's rise, or he will consume the world. The gold mask, still hidden, has the power to reverse the damage. The Black Mask awakens. In Tokyo, a powerful Yakuza leader stumbles upon the Black Mask, which corrupts him into a monstrous creature feeding off fear and dread. He becomes a dark anti-mask, turning Tokyo into a nightmare realm. Stanley and Tim realize they now face multiple threats, each stronger than the last. Journey to Valhalla. Stanley and Tim perform a mystical Norse ritual with the Guardians, which transports them into a dreamlike realm of Valhalla. There, they meet Odin, who gives them cryptic guidance. He warns that Loki is not fully reborn yet, but if all masks combine, his body and power will be complete. Only the gold mask, born of balance and sacrifice, can counter him. Tim's transformation. Odin leads Tim to a hidden chamber where the gold mask awaits. Tim puts it on and becomes the Mediator, a heroic version of the mask, glowing with light. His powers include restoration, truth amplification, and emotional clarity. He has perfect control over his mind while wearing the mask. Tim returns, ready to face Loki. The final convergence. In New York, now in chaos, the three mask bearers converge. Stanley, Green, Tim, Gold, and Magnus, original Loki, battle in a reality-warped cityscape. 1 minute they're fighting in an 8-bit video game world. The next they're in silent black and white cinema. Reality fractures as the mask's power begins to consume everything. Magnus' fall. Tim uses the gold mask's empathy power to reach Magnus' human side. He sees Magnus' past, a lonely boy obsessed with Norse mythology, bullied and ignored. Magnus hesitates, takes off the mask, but Loki's essence remains and refuses to release him. Now a living god independent of the mask. True face of Loki. Loki reveals his true form, a multi-faced, ever-shifting cartoon god, blending ancient myth with modern chaos. He mocks the heroes, claiming he has transcended mortal vessels. He begins fusing the three mask powers into a singularity to rewrite the laws of reality permanently. Sacrifice of the masks. Tim realizes the only way to stop Loki is to sacrifice the power of all three masks. He and Stanley channel their energies together. The gold mask initiates a vortex that draws in Loki's essence. Tim says goodbye to his powers. The three masks shatter in a blinding explosion of light. Loki is sealed inside a magical comic book titled The Book of Tricksters. Return to normal. The world resets. People forget the surreal events. Reality stabilizes. Stanley retires from adventuring and finally creates a best-selling graphic novel based on his life. Tim goes to college, feeling free of the burden of his legacy. The Guardians dissolve, having fulfilled their duty. One last laugh. Post-credit scene. In a dusty antique shop in Mexico, a kid finds a fragment of green ceramic. As he examines it, his reflection winks at him and smirks, "Sismokin." The screen cuts to black, teasing that chaos never truly dies. It only waits for a new face.